This is how to get the most out of a home wrestling mat and not waste your money. And some of you watching this have a home wrestling mat and you're not even using it. So this is what you do. I had friends years ago, their dad made them hit like 20 high crotches to a double, 20 single legs to whatever finish he had lined up for them to do. He was like a youth coach. And that's what they had to do every day after school. They went right downstairs and they did it. And there were 3 brothers. They made the high school state finals 11 times between them. I think that's important. Now it's only like 15 minutes. Anybody can do that, right? Maybe you have a practice plan. 15 techniques you want them to focus on. Maybe they got to hit 10 reps of this 5, and then they do 10 reps of the next 5, right? And you maybe have 3 practice plans. So, you know, twice a week they're hitting the practice plan. Monday through Friday after school, they have to hit 50 reps, 10 of these 5 techniques, and you rotate. That's a good idea. How about a little youth kid? You know, you drill something for, you go 5, your partner goes 5, you go 5, partner goes 5, then you get to live wrestle for 3 minutes. Okay, let's go to the next one. So don't save live wrestling for the end for the little kids. I volunteered as a youth coach when I was kind of doing my research for my online wrestling academy back in 2002. I volunteered. I coached 4 to 6-year-olds, and I got a lot of things figured out by doing that. So, you know, if you have youth kids, that's what you do. And you keep practices fun, but not fun by playing games, fun by wrestling live. Live wrestling is fun, okay? So don't try to drill and then do live at the end, because that won't work. If you really had a hardcore wrestler who was like, you know, I want to wrestle in college and I'm willing to work for it, because who doesn't want to wrestle in college, right? Who doesn't want to make $1 million? Who doesn't want a 6-pack? I mean, who doesn't want a yacht? I mean, whatever. And I'm willing to work for it. Please help me develop a plan for myself so I have an opportunity to wrestle in college and actually get a scholarship out of the deal too, right? Sometimes you get to college as a walk-on or as a very small scholarship offer. You're kind of just like, they're not hiring you necessarily. Doesn't mean you can't work your way onto the team. A lot of people do, but most people don't. And you know, they throw 35% at you, they're hiring you. If they give 5%, they're just like, they want you in the room, but they're not going to pay a lot of attention to you. That's been my experience. So you want to wrestle in college and actually have a chance of like getting paid attention to and getting coached, getting the individuals in the morning, which that's the name of the game at college wrestling. The coaches don't have time to do individuals with everyone. I want to be one of those guys or those girls. So if you're on that level, now you're wanting to get on that home mat quite a bit. And I would tell you, I have a twin brother. I sold my 4-wheeler as a kid, bought a home wrestling mat, and we just used it nonstop. And my dad's thing was, you have to be on that mat 20 minutes a day. And so we ended up with like 4 or 5 days a week, whatever it was, I can't remember. And we usually were on the mat a lot more than that. After 15 minutes, you get warmed up. You're like, dude, I'm having fun. Turn the clock off, boom. We spent 2 hours down there just drilling our stuff. We had all of our wrestling techniques taped to the wall, okay? So if you're on that kind of a track, you got a home mat, you want to use it like that. So you have stance and motion drills, which are key. You have partners coming over and you have your drill plan for yourself taped to the wall. Obviously our online wrestling academy is a drill plan if you wanted to master the 275 wrestling techniques plus or minus that you need to know to be a tremendous wrestler. And that's there for you. In 2022, 23% of all of Missouri's high school state champions, all of them, 23% of them trained with us on my mats. So that's almost 1 in 4 out of every state champ in the state of Missouri. So we're winning. We have a plan in place. So, you know, PurlerWrestling.com has our plan if you had interest, or you want to come up with your own, that's cool too. But you want to take that plan, and now you're not just rolling around on the mat. You're like, okay, underhook throw by, secondary attacks. How do you score without shooting? You need a lot of secondary attacks, okay? So maybe you have a duck under. You have 4 duck unders. You know, you have your misdirection duck, your duck under off of their elbow control, your inside tie, off of your elbow control, off of a left-hand collar tie, off of a right-hand collar tie, touch and go, forehead to forehead, right? Cowboy duck under, we call it. So even there's 6 or 7 duck unders right there. Maybe you just drill 5 of each. There's 35 reps. Okay, what's next? And it's very fun, it's called touching through. Touching through. I'm just touching through my drills. Now, when you're learning something from scratch, you might have to drill it for 30 minutes, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. But once you've got it down pat, now we're trying to hit it in live competition. So we just start getting on the live wrestling mat, figuring out how to hit it against our live opponents. But from a drilling standpoint, I mean, you don't have to think about tying your shoe anymore, right? You just tie it. You don't even remember tying your shoe this morning, I guarantee it. Well, you're not even going to remember hitting a duck under in a big match if you drill it. So do you need to drill it for 9 hours this week? No, you just need to touch on it. Good, touch on it, touch through. So you hit 5 of these, 3 of those. This one's more difficult for me. I'm gonna hit 12 or 13 of these. Okay, move on to my stuff. So now you have all of your techniques. You have your takedown page. You score takedowns 4 different ways, right? You should write this down. Leg attacks, secondary attacks, which is scoring without shooting, front headlock defense, which is from a down block, and hip pressure defense when your opponent gets to your hip. And that can even be if you're on your hip, maybe a hip heist, 2 hip pressure defense. So you have 4 ways to score takedowns. You have those columns. You have all your techniques. You might have 6 here, 11 here, 4 there. Okay, then you have your top stuff. Don't forget your side lifts. You have 2 good side lifts plus your back sweeps. So 3 ways to mat return your opponent, because they will stand up on you. All right, I got that. See, now you're starting to have a system in place. You're like, dude, now when I drill my stuff, okay? And as you get more skilled, you just need to touch through your drills. Okay, there's a 35 to 40 minute drill. I do that 3 days a week. And stance in motion. If I'm a bigger guy or girl, I can't do much live wrestling. So you might do like 50-50 sparring. Save the live wrestling for your club or high school practices that you get on. But so now you're doing what? You're circumventing the coach. You don't need a coach. And that's the issue. If your coach wants to work cradle counters, you're like, dude, I don't need cradle counters. I can't get off bottom, and I got to wrestle the state bronze medalist this Thursday at a dual meet. Now your confidence is getting crushed because you're not getting a chance to practice what you need. You're at the mercy of a coach. And being at the mercy of a coach is not a good place to be. There's some tremendous coaches out there, but they're still coaching 50 kids. And you don't need the practice plan that he has planned for the other 49 kids. Guess what? You got a home mat. You can do it on your own. And if you're someone who maybe doesn't have a tremendous wrestling opportunities from a coaching standpoint, then, hey, guess what? Now, you're no longer need the coach, really. You got your own practice plan, especially if you have like an online program like ours. Maybe you bought someone else's. That's cool too. And now you're not at the mercy of a coach anymore. And being at the mercy of a coach is not a good place to be, even if they're a good coach, because they've got 50 kids to worry about and you got to worry about yourself. So that's my strategies and tips on how to use your home wrestling mat. I think it would be a tremendous thing for you if you don't have one to get one. I think they're just a valuable tool if you'll actually use them. And some people don't use it because they don't know how, but now you do. Good luck.